Hey guys, and welcome to UpFront Games December end of the month episode, where we're gonna dive into games that should be remade. Now, disclaimer: my voice is going away, which sucks a little bit. At the end of the day, if it's gone today, I'm really not gonna care. However, I'm having to speak in a lower register just because of the fact that if I don't, it's going to in turn squeak and be all nasty. So I'll try and get through this as quickly as possible and with minimal issues with my voice. However, what we did was we chose 2 games from each company. So 2 PlayStation, 2 Xbox, and 2 Nintendo games that need to be remade. Now, that being said, there's a reason that we only chose those 3, and that's because we're talking about consoles here, and we're also not going to dive into consoles that no longer exist. Now, I'm going to basically go over my synopsis / ideas for each one of these games, and then I will play a 2 to 4 minute video clip from each one of their original titles. So, without further ado, starting with PlayStation like we do in our regular videos, we've got a couple games there that I feel need to be remade. One of which is Tokyo Xtreme Racing. It's a mission-based racing game challenging other racers, challenging other racers to earn money and upgrade your ride as you take on rival factions by flashing your headlights on Tokyo freeways. It was originally released as a Dreamcast launch title that then got ported to PSP and then released on PS2 after, with several sequel titles continuously going forward. I think it ended with Tokyo Xtreme Zero. These were really great games. You would just like stated, pull up behind somebody, there would be a small icon above their vehicle showing that they were of a rival faction. You would flash your headlights, and then in drag race type style, you would take off. If you were ahead of this person, based on how far ahead you were, their life meter would come down gradually until it got to nothing. If it got all the way to nothing, you won the race. You would take away the money and then be able to go back to your garage or continue driving to continue your pursuit and make your car faster, better with some upgrades. So go ahead and check out this video, and then we'll jump into the second one for PlayStation. guys, that was Tokyo Xtreme Racer. Hopefully you agree. I think it was a great game in its time and could be remade and stand up to the test when it comes to racing genres. And it's a new spin on kind of what we look at when it comes to racing games, but it have to be done right. Alright, finally for PlayStation, you guys, I'm like literally choking down like hot cider and all sorts of God. Anyway, Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver is the final one I chose for PlayStation. It was released for PlayStation in 1999. Soul Reaver had Raziel, a vampire turned wraith, lieutenant to the vampire lord Kain. He's killed by Kain in the very beginning of the game and revived by the Elder God to become his Soul Reaver and exact revenge on Kain, as he does very well throughout the story. It's rather dark, however, it was very fun when it came out. I remember playing this game for hours on end, and I think I beat it twice, 3 times, something like that, just because it was that much of a good game, and obviously it had a sequel that came after that that was good in its own right as well. So I think you, as a action type game and a darker type game, this could be remade for this generation with the better graphical content and a similar storyline, if not following the same storyline, and be a really, really great adaptation today. So check out the video and we'll come back with Xbox.
Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Few know the truth. He was mortal once, as were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren. I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. I have served Kain a millennium. The gift continued to evolve. We became less human and more divine. Kain would enter the state of change and emerge with a new gift. Some years after the Master, our evolution would follow, until I had the honor of surpassing my lord. For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony. There was only one possible outcome: my eternal damnation. Raziel was to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, to burn forever in the bowels of the lake of the dead. Cast him in. Tumbling, burning with white-hot fire, I plunged into the depths of the abyss. Unspeakable pain, relentless agony. Time ceased to exist. Only this torture and a deepening hatred of the hypocrisy that damned me to this hell. An eternity passed, and my torment receded, bringing me back from the precipice of madness. The descent had destroyed me, and yet I lived.
Okay, guys, so that was Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. It's just kind of the intro to the game itself. Again, really great title, and I feel like it being remade today with improved graphics, maybe a little bit of an improved storyline, being that we can make games a lot bigger than we could back then, would be a great addition to our newer console generations. All right, so moving into Xbox again. Sorry about my voice, guys. Jesus. Area 51. It's a science fiction based first person shooter that released in 2005. You're fighting hordes of mutants, and it was loosely based on the 1995 arcade laser shooter of the same name. There's a loosely related sequel was released in 2007 called Black Site, and this seems to be where the title stopped. Fighting aliens is always a good thing to me, and I remember this title doing it very well, whether you played it in the arcade or you played it on the Xbox at the time. A good reboot of this could be something to rival the likes of certain shooters and like Predator type games that are out there, and I think overall it was a really good title again for its time, so it could be a really great remake. Check out the video.
Serious situation. McCann is down. Repeat, McCann is down. We have hostiles of an unknown nature. They don't appear to be human. Requesting permission to return to insertion point and regroup.
Your insertion point has been compromised. There is no going back. You need to keep moving.
Roger that, Command. Bravo, out. Okay, Bravo. Remember our objective. Link up with Has Team Delta. We are in a hot zone, so stay sharp. Take positions and help secure this area.
Alright guys, that was Area 51 for Xbox. The second title I chose was kind of a cross-platform, but it was a great title to say the least. Max Payne. It was a third-person shooter developed by Remedy and later Rockstar Games with Max Payne 3, which released in 2012, selling over 7.5 million copies across the three titles. A well-rounded shooter that could be revived with a new story and a graphical reboot of the original, or a graphical reboot of the original three titles, since the last title saw the light of day on PS3 and Xbox 360. Overall, great games. Check out the video and we'll talk a little bit more.
Stand Standby. 1010, investigated reported disturbance at Acer Plaza.
10-4 dispatcher, verify address.
It's Acer Plaza. Repeat, Acer Plaza.
Shots fired on the rooftop. An assault in progress at Acer Plaza. Repeat, an assault in progress. It's a war zone down here. 1085 dispatcher, need additional units. Additional units now. Officer in danger. Officer in danger.
10-5, please repeat. 10-5, all units, emergency. Officer in danger. Acer Plaza. Repeat, Acer Plaza, all units.
They were all dead. The final gunshot was an exclamation mark to everything that had led to this point. I released my finger from the trigger, and then it was over. To make any kind of sense of it, I need to go back 3 years. Back to the night the Payne started. I was still on the force back then. NYPD, Manhattan, Midtown North Precinct, Hell's Kitchen.
So when are you coming to work for me, Detective Payne?
You'd make me work undercover in some hellhole. Sorry, Alex. Michelle and the baby come first. See? My last smoke. It's bad for the baby.
That's you, Max. A regular Boy Scout.
See, Alex?
Still on for poker Thursday night, right?
Like taking candy from a baby. Life was good. Sun setting on a sweet summer's day. Smell of freshly mowed lawns. Sounds of children playing. A house across the river on the Jersey side. Beautiful wife and a baby girl. The American dream come true. Honey, I'm home. But dreams have a nasty habit of going bad when you're not looking. The sun went down with practiced bravado. Twilight crawled across the sky, laden with foreboding. Michelle, honey, anybody home? I didn't like the way the show started. They'd given me the best seat in the house, front row center. What the hell? Something ugly had been tattooed on the wall, a map of things to come. It was a poison syringe, a magic tag full of diabolical meanings. Listen, someone's broken into my house. Call 911.
Is this the Payne residence?
Yes, someone's broken into my house. They're still here. You have to...
Good. I'm afraid I cannot help you.
Who is this? Hello?
Alright guys, that was Max Payne in the original, where in the very beginning, Max Payne goes up to his house and finds his daughter and his wife had been murdered, and there's something fishy happening at the time. Anyway, it's a great game and would do great with a remake today, and especially going into the new console generation. It'd be a great game altogether. So, if you hadn't checked it out, by all means, look into it. Alright, so moving on to Nintendo. Nintendo can always be easy when it comes to remakes, and I chose to go out of the box on the second one, but the first one is very, very iconic to Nintendo, but I feel he doesn't get enough attention today. That's Donkey Kong. He's a very much loved Nintendo character, obviously, but nothing much from him since 2015. The Donkey Kong Country games were great, and I feel this could be a great addition to Nintendo's current generation of console. Donkey Kong again, iconic just like Mario, could be a very welcome addition to the Nintendo Switch, or whatever Nintendo's going to cook up for their next generation. However, we have much to be seen there. Check out the video. Okay, again, Donkey Kong, with the fans that it has out there, would be a great addition to newer consoles and maybe a whole revamp of what Donkey Kong Country really was. Um, Now, moving forward, I chose a rather iconic old school game from Nintendo, NES to be exact, and I believe this came out on Super Nintendo as well. Um, Paperboy. If you're a fan of Nintendo and the original Nintendo, I'm sure you've seen Paperboy. I used to love this game. You're delivering the paper on hazardous streets, and it was great on NES. This could be revamped to include several dynamics that would make the game more valid today, as well as a graphical overhaul, of course. It hasn't seen the light of day since 1991 when Paperboy 2 was released. So go ahead and check out the video, and then we'll do our recap and call it a day. Check this out. Alright, again, guys, that was Paperboy. Used to love that game when I was a kid. And I think right now, if you were to revamp that with several different newer aspects, it would be a great game. Not to mention, the whole premise of the game was to essentially deliver papers. If you delivered correctly, you would get new subscribers. If you didn't, you would get loss of subscribers. And then on top of that, you would be shooting for a higher score based on whether or not you can make it in the mailbox and avoiding all the obstacles along the way. And then you had a training obstacle at the end of each level. It was a great game in its time, and I think today being revamped again would serve great for Nintendo or other platforms and just be one of those great little puzzling action games that we could use today. Anyway, again, I apologize for my voice, but to recap, we got 6 titles that we went through, and that included Tokyo Xtreme Racing and Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver for PlayStation, Area 51 and Max Payne for Xbox, and Donkey Kong and Paperboy for Nintendo. So, let me know what you think, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, as we always do. And again, see you Sunday for the news in the new year in January of 2020. Thank you, guys, and again, see you next year.